General Bootleg.
Yeah.
His troops up the hill.
See that? Normal that the colonel would lead like that, Bill?
Yeah.
True leader. He's right at the head of the column, Bill.
Yeah. Don't see too much of that now in these days.
Nah. Not with the improvised explosive device, Bill. Boy, that's quite a number of troops we have here.
Yeah, it looks like a platoon size of between 35 and 50.
Yeah. That's right.
Hello and welcome to Time Searchers. I'm your host, Rodger Blissman. And here we are today at a 1788 church site. This site had church activities dating from that period of time. And also, even though it's not documented, we have found evidence that there was a British fort blockhouse area here. BillTheRelic, my co-host and our guide through time, he's going to be on here in a minute to elaborate and give us more detail on this very interesting site. So Bill, what can you tell us exactly about this site?
Well, this site, like you said, the church goes back to 1788, and originally had two other structures before this structure, two log cabins, and actually were burnt down by the Indians. And a lot of the original records were burnt with the log cabins, but through the years, hunting on the back end of the cemetery, the road coming up and on top of the hill, like we'll find stuff, military buttons from the French and Indian War back there, and everything supports, you know, there was a fort there at one time.
So in fact, didn't you even find a button that had a name on it?
Yes, I found a one-piece button that said Fort Hand. Researched it through the years, but there was no Fort Hand listed. But it's like anything else, some of these fort sites do go unrecorded.
But this is a site, Bill, that you've hunted even years before I met you, and this is a site that has produced
friendly neighbors.
That has produced quite a number of items over the years, and remarkably enough, it still produces.
It still produces. I've hunted here since the early 90s, from like say 91, 92, and found a ton of silver, a ton of Indian heads, found 5 or 6 state coppers, found 3 or 4 British coppers, and there's been Spanish reals, half reals, busted quarters, even silver dollar you just found recently, about a year or so ago.
About a year or so, found an 1896 silver dollar. But what we're primarily interested in here today, hopefully, we'll be able to unearth some artifacts from the early colonial period, Revolutionary War period, and anything between now and that period. Well, I'm going to consider that a bonus, Bill.
Exactly right, yeah.
Okay, well, let's get cracking.
All right, BillTheRelic, I'm here again. I'm your Johnny on the spot. And as you can see here, we're off to the right of the church site. And as you look back here, you see the pavilion over here, and there's a lot of grass here, and it goes all the way back there. And we were up here before when it was just all dug up. It used to be a cornfield. And Rodger actually found a Vermont copper up here. We found a half dollar up here, a bunch of silver dimes, barber dimes, and even a few Indian heads. I think the earliest one I think Rodger found was a 1865, if I believe right. It was way back here at the corner of the field. So this used to be all part of the church, and is now, but it was all cornfield. Now it's all grass now, and now you can hunt it. And it just opened up a new part of the church, and it's opened up a lot of other different coins and stuff. So seeing me here wasting your time, I'd rather get out here, have some finds to show you. So your Johnny on the spot is going to be right over here. Well, here we are we're still at the church here. We had some downpours earlier. That's why we had to put the camera away. Now I see how the rain stopped, it looks like, for a few minutes. So let's go over and see what Rodger found.
Yeah. Actually, the first find I made today was a 1912 barber quarter.
That's unbelievable.
Which, I wish if it wasn't raining that we could have shown it. It was just like a metal detecting brochure, Bill.
Wow.
I opened the hole up, and only 2 inches down was the rim of this coin.
Wow.
And
yeah, I was standing right there when you found it.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
The date's clear on it. It does show somewhere, but still.
What date is it?
It's 1912.
Wow, that's unbelievable. That's a great find.
It is, especially in this area. We've hunted this area very extensively over the years, and it's amazing.
Yeah, wonderful.
Now here's the other find. Now, a little story behind this find.
Okay.
This, and you can identify this, Bill. You identified it for me. This is a...
looks like a silver 3-cent piece.
Yeah, United States 3-cent piece. Minted, 1858 to 1863?
Something like that, these particular design on these.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that Bill's being modest. He found one before I did, and I went over in a few feet, actually, in the vicinity of his, and we both nearly fell over that I found this other one. And
I can't believe it. 10 feet from mine.
10 feet, and later in the show, Bill's going to show us his.
I see it's unique. It got a hole in it.
It does.
How do you think they used that? You think they wore it on a bracelet or a
Either
necklace?
a bracelet or a necklace. The hole's pretty small. It could have been on a bracelet, but it could have been maybe a little girl had it as a little, necklace, a good luck charm.
Right.
And it's interesting to find this.
Wow, it is.
This is a keepsake that somebody probably over 100 years ago.
Yeah. I know that 3-cent silvers are really hard to find, and we were up here a couple of years before. It was really dry out, and obviously we didn't pick them up. Maybe the soil was too dry.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful barber dime. That's awesome. Yeah, I can see the date right on there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Especially in a so-called hunted out area, which goes back to what we've said.
Yeah, yeah.
We've said that, hey, in these areas, the ground to me has always been like an ocean. And I've always enjoyed watching the old Jacques Cousteau exploration stories, and he talks about the ocean, it changes. And that's what the ground does too, because things move up and down in the ground with the weather. Hopefully we'll find something else before we leave here.
I hope so too. I hope you or one of us find another Vermont or Connecticut copper.
Yeah, that's what we're really here for. I know Steve, who's our guest here, he actually found a colonial button, a flowered one, and we want to share that with our audience too a little bit later.
I fire those regiments, or I should say sections of the platoon we're looking at. Firing sections, while the other sections are low.
As you see the militias on both sides of them.
300 and 400 Indians in this battle.